A very good morning to all of you. Good morning. I hope it's been a great day yesterday for you all. And welcome to this yet again, another very interesting session today. Essentially, what we are going to do today is on job evaluation and how do you fix salary for jobs and how do you create those grades. Before we actually talk about job evaluation and learn a lot about job evaluation, let us do a quick recap of what we did yesterday so that we are able to connect what we did yesterday to today's session. Yesterday, we talked about the external factors which impact compensation, like, for example, the government regulations, the collective bargaining, or the globalization and technology, and also the demographics, the economy, etc. Thereafter, we spoke about the components of a compensation system. Now, I want to draw your attention to the direct pay. We talked about indirect and direct pay. Now, in direct pay, we talked about three kinds of pays. Can anybody just tell me quickly what were they? We talked about three kinds, three components or three elements in direct pay. Direct pay is all about cash. And then we said
Fixed
base
pay,
pay,
variable and
base
deferred.
pay or fixed pay.
Yeah.
And then we talked about variable pay and we said deferred pay,
Deferred.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
when we talked about fixed pay, it is guaranteed pay. That means guaranteed pay for a particular job, right? And then we talked about variable pay, which varies. It is contingent on various factors, on performance, on hardship, on skills, etc. And then we talked about deferred pay, which we say, hey, if we want to retain some unique positions, how do we do that? We will actually offer him a lump sum amount and say, hey, 50% or 20%, we're going to give it to you now, and then spread it over 2 years, 3 years, depending on the kind of in frame we want the person to be retained. Clear? Okay, this is what we spoke about. Now, what we're going to talk about today is, and then we talked about equity principle. We said, one of the famous psychologists and the philosophers who said, people are motivated only when they see that there's a balance between the input and the output. And when he talked about input, what were they? Input from the employees in terms of skill, effort, competencies, time, etc. And output would be what? Anybody? I'm just checking what the employer gives, right? So output would be what? Rewards, salary,
Rewards, salary.
right? Everything, what it could be monetary and non-monetary. So if the input and output is balancing, then the employee is happy, motivated, and engaged. So when you have highly satisfied, engaged employees, what happens? What's the outcome? Anybody?
Productivity is high.
Productivity is high.
When the
There will
employee
be
is
productivity.
satisfied, performance would be high.
Absolutely. When you are motivated, when you are satisfied and engaged, you're happy. So you're motivated, your performance will be very high. So productivity will be very high. Now, so if there's any imbalance, we said, then what happens? The employee then, that reflects in his behavior. So if I am not happy, if there is an imbalance that I find that my output input ratio is lesser than my comparator, whether it is internal, whether it's external, then what happens? Then I'm dissatisfied. It reflects in my behavior. I'm demotivated. Maybe I will start, reducing my performance, reducing my productivity. Okay. So based on this equity theory, we talked about three kinds of equity which exist in organizations, right? Anybody can you try and recall what were those three equities we talked about? Yeah, anybody?
It can be like we can say value mostly important to the employee.
No, we talked about three kinds of equity, essentially. These terms are very, very important. One is internal equity,
Internal equity,
Acha, acha,
external
internal
equity, and
external
individual equity.
equity, and individual equity.
individual.
Yeah.
Essentially, when we talk about internal equity, that means, and every organization fundamentally, when you're talking about a compensation, in order to ensure that employees are highly satisfied, you will ensure that there is internal equity or fairness in the way we pay what salaries within the organization. Within the organization, that is internal equity. But when we say external equity, that means in comparison to market, am I paying less? So if I keep paying lesser and the market is increasing, what will happen? People will get disengaged. People will lose interest. You will lose people because the market is paying higher. And when we talked about individual equity, hey, how am I bringing in fairness or equity when I'm doing a little more or much more than another individual who's working in the same role or same position? How am I building in that? Say, for example, there are two individuals who are working as accountants, and A and B, and A works much more, and A's productivity is very high. Then how am I trying to ensure that there is fairness vis-a-vis the increase of productivity or increase of performance? Okay, so these were the three things we talked about. Now, having said that, today our discussion, our work, our practical breakout activity is going to now center around the most important thing, that is called internal equity. How am I going to establish internal equity? In fact, Avinash had this, right? If I have a recruiter position, how am I going to fix his salary? How am I going to say, hey, this is his fixed salary? How am I going to justify that? So it's all about fixing salaries, evaluating the worth of the jobs, and the value of the jobs. So when we talk about internal equity, what is the technique or what is that we are going to do? We're going to use job evaluation. Because essentially, when I said internal equity is how are we paying jobs vis-a-vis the other jobs? So obviously, if I'm going to pay, there are two jobs, HR manager and senior HR manager. So if I have to pay them equitably or fairly, I need to know the worth of the job or the value of the job, not just the title of the job. Are you getting me? Because titles don't matter. It is the content. So when we talk about job evaluation, our focus is going to be the content of the job. Is that very clear? So therefore, today, what we are going to do is job evaluation. We're going to look at two very, very important methods of job evaluation, which are called job grading and point rating method. Now, there are simple methods which I'm not actually going to do them because we don't, due to the paucity of time, but they're very, very easy, the ranking method, etc., which you can actually read about them. All right. Okay. Yeah. So when I talk about job evaluation, what is job evaluation? Please understand that it is a systematic process of evaluating the worth of the job, in relation to the other jobs within that organization. Please remember, it is not absolute. It is relative. Okay. So we are evaluating if your organization has 20 jobs, 30 jobs. So when we do job evaluation, what do? We are evaluating the jobs in relation to the other jobs so that I know which job is of higher value and which job is of a lower value. Two, very, very important to understand that when I'm doing a job evaluation exercise, I am not evaluating Manish, who is working as an HR manager in his organization. I am not evaluating Avinash, who is there working as an HR senior lead or an HR manager in his org. No, I am actually evaluating the job, not the person. Please, when you are hiring a person, you are actually evaluating the person for the job. Are you with me? You are doing an talent acquisition. You are evaluating whether Manish, I'm interviewing Manish so that, I'm seeing, hey, does he fit this job? But here, what am I doing? I'm actually evaluating the job. Okay. Now, say for example, I will ask you this question. If I have to then evaluate the job, what is the most important document I will be needing?
Of course, resume.
Job description.
Job description.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are dot on there. I think I will just go quickly just to share because it's very, yes. So when I'm doing a job evaluation, so the most important document is job description, right? Now, I'm sure it's very, very fundamental and basic. What does the job description contain? It's a document. It's a document and it lists what? It lists out all the role and the responsibilities, the key task, everything about that particular job. Yes or no? Right? Okay. Having said that, it is a document which will give you a detailed list of all the tasks, responsibility, everything. Now, tell me, what is the process you do to get this document? What is it called? Because it's very important to understand what is that you do to get this document. What do you do? Job analysis. Now, job analysis is a systematic process where you are analyzing the job so that you are able to create a job description. So, job analysis could be done through primary sources, or it can also be done through secondary sources, or both. Right? Now, when I say job analysis primary, what is this typically you do? Typically, what do? We will interview the job holder. You will be doing interviewing. Maybe you will also do what? Observation. Right? You can also keep a logbook. You will do all that. Secondary sources you can also get from various websites, etc. A lot of information about that particular position to create that job description. I'll give you a task. Say, for example, all of you are HR managers. You have just got into the job and your boss tells you, hey, we don't have updated or current job descriptions. You have to make 20 job descriptions. So typically, how much of time do you think you will take? Quick.
It will be too much
How
time,
much
but
of time? Pardon?
it will be too much of time, but it will be now
Will you take
not
1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Huh? But supposing if the consultants are going to take so much of time, what about their productivity? What about her? So I'll give you a secret, which most of the consultants follow. So a very quick method, and it's going to be very handy because it's very, very important that all HR people, when they start working, you definitely need to have what? A current job descriptions. So there is a site which is called what? Own it. If you just type on the internet, I am actually going own it. Okay. This is a site, this is a United States of America site, Ministry of Labor. Okay. They have the site which has about 3,000 plus updated job descriptions. Now, all that you need to do is like typically we've done a lot of job descriptions. So typically what I do quickly, I will go to Onet. So you can actually then, what will you do? Do your search in terms of, say, for example, I want to, what job do we need? HR manager? Okay, HR. So you have to put in the word. Then enter. You will have also similar jobs. So say for example, I'm going to take a human resource specialist. All right. Now, have you seen this job comes with a code as well? And then this is a quick summary which gives you the list of tasks. Can you read? Can somebody read this tasks? Just two of them, 2 lines. Can you read that? Yeah, tasks. Anybody?
Interpret and explain human resource policies, procedures,
These
laws,
procedures,
standards, or
laws,
regulations.
standards, regulations. Okay.
Regulations.
And the other one is hire employees
Hire
and
employees and process
processes,
hiring
no?
related paperwork.
To paperwork. So there are list of tasks, technology, skills required, etc. This is only a summary. Now I will say, hey, I want a detailed job description. Now, can you see a detailed job description now? Interprets and explains human resource policies, etc., hires employees and process hiring related work, maintains current knowledge of equal employment opportunities, prepares or maintains employment records related to events such as hiring. So you have a list of tasks. You have technology and skills required, tools used, everything, work activities. What does it do? The activity importance, everything in detail. So when you have a list like this, what do you think you can do? Typically, what I do is I will use the Google form, all right, and then customize it to a little extent, and I will send it to the 3 or 4 job holders and also to the supervisor and say, pick whatever you think you agree with that this role is doing. And if you want to add, you can add. And if you want to delete, you can delete. So what happens in a very short time, rather than starting or interviewing or observing, which takes a long time, people don't feel lazy. It comes immediately because everything is there. I only need to do a checklist, yes or no, and add few more things, right? It becomes very convenient. So what I do, I get back all the forms. Then again, it goes through 1 or 2 iterations. If there are any kind of, conflicts and if there is something to negotiate, then I again check with the role incumbent and also the supervisor. And then what? Freeze it. Okay. Don't you think that's a very quick method of doing a job description, guys? Huh?
Nowadays, ChatGPT is also a similar way.
Does it? I have not used Chat GPT for JD, but does it give you a real good? Obviously, OpenAI can be used for a lot of things, but I have not used it. Anybody who has used Chat GPT for JD descriptions?
Yes,
But
I have.
you have, but maybe
Yeah.
for 1 or 2 job descriptions, it's fine probably, but not if you have to make, say, 10, 15, 20
Right,
job
right.
descriptions. You
Right.
agree?
Provides a
Because you
very
have
good
here,
template to use. It provides a very good template to use, which you can then build upon basis your individual, like your
exactly.
knowledge of the company and the role.
Exactly. You can't actually, use that. You have to customize it to your needs, factor in the organization's goals, philosophy, etc. And then, but it takes much lesser time,
I
right?
would like, in terms of chat GPT, if you write a very specific query, like if you want to ask, if you want to find a JD for, say, I want a hydraulic engineer who should be from water and waste industry, who should be mechanical
Mhm.
engineer, 3 to 4 years of experience. You write very specific, and
Then
for
it
this,
gives you a detail.
ChatGPT will give you. And
Excellent.
once
So
there is,
it takes care of unique needs. But if you were to do it in volume, probably then it will become a little cumbersome, right? Yeah. Okay. Great. So after you have the job description, then you do the job evaluation. So there is a difference between job analysis and job evaluation because the goals are different. When you do job analysis, it is for the purpose of job description. But when you do job evaluation, what is it for? To evaluate the worth or the value of the job. So they are different. So please understand that there is a difference between job analysis and job evaluation. Please give me a thumbs up on that. I hope you have understood that clearly, that there's a difference between job analysis and job evaluation. Very clear? Now, when we talk about job evaluation, I'm reiterating again that is the systematic process of evaluating the job, okay, of the job in relation to the other jobs. Now, how we do that? How do we do that? So whenever you do a job evaluation, even your job description for the purpose of the job evaluation have to be ensuring that you have a position questionnaire which will factor in everything what you really want to capture in a job evaluation. Let's see what we are going to do that. So I'm actually not going through job analysis, everything. So you know what it contains. Okay. This is typically how a job description form looks, right? Having said that, now there are various ways of doing job evaluation. One method is job ranking. Anybody who's done here job evaluation? Anybody? Is anybody familiar with job evaluation? Yes, no? No problem. Okay. So this is a very simple job ranking method, which I'm actually not wanting to do it in detail, but I'll just tell you what it is all about. Say, for example, you have in your organization 10 jobs. So what do you typically do? Then all the subject matter experts like the business leaders and the HR head and the CEO, they come together, they form a compensation committee, and then by the virtue of their own deep pockets of expertise and knowledge about the organization and also about the function, they will evaluate the jobs based on the job descriptions, based on input and output, everything, and then rank them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you do this, there is some amount of subjectivity, right? Because it is why will there be subjectivity? Because the ranking is done based on the business leaders' depth of expertise in that particular area. But there is also a good possibility every time, sometimes what happens in such exercises, everybody wants their department jobs to be on the higher side. So, but it's very good for a startup organization. So there's a lot of material on ranking in your reading material. I will really recommend that you should read it. I will give you a quick, there's another quick method called paired comparison ranking method. What is this method called? Paired comparison ranking method. Now, what is this all about? Say, for example, there are, I think, about 10 jobs. Can you see the list of jobs here, guys?
Yes.
Messenger, data processing, manager, data entry operator, executive secretary, computer operator, systems analyst, control clerk, programmer, file clerk, assistant. All right. So when you do a paired comparison, as the name suggests, what you do typically first, you put them into row, vertical and horizontal. Now you start comparing every job, okay? Every job in the vertical column with the horizontal. Sorry. So you can't compare messenger to messenger. It's the same job, right? So you just give a dash, right? Now, and the rest of the jobs are all obviously higher than the messenger's jobs. Now, data processing. When you compare data processing with a messenger, is it a higher job or a lower job? Just even hypothetically, you can make it higher. So when you find that this job is higher, what will you do? You will actually put a check mark, an into mark. And who is doing this? The committee, compensation committee. And who are the members of this committee? All the business leaders of this organization, whoever is doing this paired comparison method for that particular organization. Again, data processing manager with data processing manager, same job, obviously won't come. Now, data processing manager with data entry operator. So based on the job description, etc., the compensation committee says, hey, data processing manager is higher than what? Data entry operator. So likewise, if you see, we'll take another one, computer operator. Somebody, please. So you are what is it? Evaluating computer operator with the rest of the jobs. So let us see somebody, whoever can take the initiative. Computer operator with messenger. So what will you get? Cross mark, right? Computer operator with a data processing manager. That means the data processing manager is a higher job. So you don't put anything. Now, computer operator with data entry operator, this job is higher. So you are putting a question mark. So that's how you are going to what? Evaluate all the jobs with each and every job with the rest of the jobs. Then what happens? Can you see there is a total? How did we arrive at this total? By adding up all these what? Huh? Check marks. So when you add up all this, you are getting a ranking here. So according to you, which is the highest job here? Highest value job?
Processing.
Processing manager.
Huh? Can you see
Processing
there
manager.
is this 9, right? Data processing manager. Which is the least job?
Messenger.
Of course,
Messenger.
messenger, but if you were to take 1,
File
and
clerk.
what is
Yeah.
that job? Huh?
File
File
clerk.
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 File
Yeah.
clerk. And so are you getting me now how you rank the jobs after doing this? So the ranking is done, the highest number is the highest job and the lowest is the lower job. Now you will ask, hey, but that's not the end. So you have evaluated the jobs, you have then stacked them up in ranking order, and you know highest to lowest or lowest to highest, these are the jobs. Now, how will you then design or create salaries for them? Any idea? So typically, what do we do? Now, even in this, typically, what will I do? I will then cluster them, bucket them. Bucket them into what? Some categories of similar jobs, which could be a little higher. So can I say 1, 2, and 3? 1 is a file clerk, 2 is a data entry operator, and 3 is a control clerk. If you look at their job description, they may be almost similar with few responsibilities a little higher. Are you getting me? Okay. So you can bucket them into one. Then again, you look at 4, 5, 4 is what? Computer operator. 5 is control clerk. No, 5 is programmer, and 6 is executive secretary, which are again, if you look at the job descriptions, you can see that they're almost similar. So you can have them into one grade. Okay. And then 8, assistant director, and 9, that is data processing manager, you can have them in one grade. So here you can create what? 3 grades. From after stacking, you can also create 3 grades. Then after that, what do? You look at market data and then design a salary structure. So wherein when you are going to do, so when I do the grading, I will actually help you all to do that. So just trying to explain to you how the paired comparison job evaluation is being done, right? Let's go to the next method. Job grading. Have you heard of job grading? Anybody? This is one of the most common methods, mostly in public sectors and in large organizations. We do job grading. Guys, so please listen because you carefully, because you're going to really work on this job grading process. Now let us understand the first. What is step 1? You need to identify, when you're doing a job grading process, compensable factors. Now tell me, what are compensable factors? Compensable factors are those factors for which you want to pay. Think of your organization. Do you pay for qualification?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do you pay for experience? No? Do you pay for product knowledge. So,
Yes.
so those key characteristics or those factors for which you want to pay. Like, for example, qualification, experience, span of control. Higher the span of control, you will assume that the job is really senior job, right? Or even, business output. Then you can also look at supervision level. Then some more coming in knowledge, skill, creativity, budgets, number of people reporting. You can also have effort, business impact, dollar impact, client interactions, because higher number of clients, high value clients. So these are all those factors for which we want to pay. These are called compensable factors. Now, you may ask me, but what is the criteria? How do we determine the compensable factors of an organization? So, when we actually determine, when the job evaluation team does the job evaluation, typically we also draw them from the organization's what? Business strategy. Like, for example, let me just use this annotate. Like, for example, Google. Okay. What could be one of the key factors which drives their business? Google comes up with so many new features, etc. What could be their key factor?
Innovation.
Absolutely. So can I say innovation is one of the key compensable factor, that I want innovation across all levels, right? Um, I'm sure everybody has heard of this company called Walmart, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
It operates in operational excellence, right? Huh? Efficiency, because unless and until. So, what do they thrive on? They thrive on something very, very important. Otherwise, they will not be able to sell their products of quality with such cost efficiencies. And what is that called?
Standardization. Supply chain.
Nahi, we don't call it as that knowledge, supply chain expertise. You agree?
Hmm.
Huh? What do
Hmm.
they do? They actually buy up huge, and that is what they pass it on to you, right? And of course, efficiencies. For example, hmm, right? Again, product knowledge. No? It was here. You also can talk about innovation, creativity, product knowledge. Let me give you. Hmm. Why do you go to Starbucks? Some of you.
Coffee.
Only coffee?
Ambience,
What kind of
coffee,
coffee? What flavor? You can sit, spend your
choice.
time. They'll give you. So, what is that key thing which drives them?
Customer service.
Will I say customer delight? No? You agree?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
enough only for the first guy? Everybody. So, will I be paying for that? Now, are you with me, guys? What are compensable factors? In a manufacturing organization, maybe efficiency. So, broadly speaking, if you know that for a business strategy, organizations can be broadly bucketed into what? Operational excellence. No? All companies like McDonald's, Walmart, etc. Then you have product leadership, who focus on continuous product innovations, etc., like Google, Microsoft, Apple. And then you also have companies who are into customer
Delight.
intimacy. Like Dell says, hey, I understand you very well. You come and you can customize your product, right? Huh? So based on this broad business strategy, you will also have compensable factors. Are you with me, guys? Okay. So these are compensable factors for which you pay. Now, let me just go straight to activity so that you will be able to start doing it. So what is the first step? Identifying compensable factors. Hey guys, now I'll be giving you job descriptions and I'll ask you to do that. So please, you will be split into 3 groups. All right. You have to do job grading. Now I'm telling you the process of how to go about it and you will be doing it. So identify 4 compensable factors. So what are the 4 compensable factors? Step 1, I have identified here. Quick know-how, experience, span of control, creativity. Okay. And this is specific to the organization I have taken, and it could be an IT organization where all these 4 compensable factors are important. Now, when you are doing job grading, you can at best have 4 to 6 compensable factors. All right. Now, when you do the work, you have to identify only 4 compensable factors. Now, the second step, step 2, is you have to determine how many grades you want. Okay. You can now typically what happens, you can have 5 to 8 grades. Now here I have determined 5 grades, but for the purpose of you doing your work here now, I want you to determine only 4 grades because of the paucity of time. Okay. So you'd say, hey, this organization, because you're getting JDs for a manufacturing organization, and you'll have 4 grades. Okay. Now, when we talk about grades, there is something called, I'll show you the template a little later, narrow banding and broad banding. Has anybody heard of narrow banding and broad banding?
Yes, ma'am. Narrow banding
Yes.
is where the designations, when small designations changes the grades inside the organization, and the broad banding, they include multiple designations inside a very, huge.
So simple, very simple definition. When I say narrow banding, I'll give you an example. Public sector, army, how many levels will they have? At least 20 to 25? No? Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. So it will have, E1, E2, and then, so 22, at minimum 15 to 20 grades. So like, for example, you can see 1, 2. So these are all grades. Now, what is important in a narrow band is, what is a band? A salary band. The distance between the min and the max is narrow. What does it mean? The distance between the min and the max. What is the salary band? That means a pay range, salary range, which has a minimum. Say, for example, Arjun is in L2, some grade. Okay. So that grade will have a minimum and a maximum salary range, right? So when I'm talking about a narrow band, it will be narrow. Now, I will also further clarify. You should know what is the meaning of narrow. That means a person on an average may be there in that band for just about 3 to 4 years. The progression from min to max is about maybe 3 years or 4 years. It's narrow. So I'm forced to then promote him to the next band. So here in a narrow band, typically what happens, promotions are by most automatic in public sector. Have you seen? It is by what? Seniority. And then as you keep going up, seniority come merit. So it's tenure based. After 3 years, 4 years, okay, you are pushed. Because your job may not change much, but you will be given a promotion just to show that, hey, you are now in a higher position. Because the band is very small. You want to give him an extra increment, but you cannot do that. So you have to promote him. Are you with me? This is a traditional kind of. In a broad band, what is happening? They are consolidated. Have you seen that 1, 2, 3? So this is one big band. then this is another big broad band. So I have consolidated 3 small bands. I'll say L1, L2, L3 under one big broad band. Again, I might say E1, E2, or I'll say M1, M2, M3 under one big broad band. Unless and until there is a very significant shift in the content of the job and responsibilities, I will not shift him from one band to the other. I will only give that lateral kind of shift. Are you with me? Okay. So there's a lot of reading material. You can actually go to broadband and narrow band, and please read up because that's important. So where were we? So the step 2 is, step 1 is determining the number of compensable factors. So you have to do 4 compensable factors. Then determine how many grades you want here grade. The step 3 is writing definitions for those grade definitions for every compensable factor. What is the meaning of grade definition for a compensable factor? What does it mean? At a grade 1, the know-how, typically it could be education, etc. He should be an ITI. And he should have 0 to 2 years of experience. And his span of control is like he's an individual contributor, and there is not much of creativity. Are you with me? In grade 2, this is the definitions. In grade 3, higher. In grade 4, little more. So if you notice, if you have seen span of control from grade 1 individual contributor to grade 5, it becomes he's managing 30 people. Now, how will you write these contributions? You will have an overall understanding of the organizations, looking at the position, and then you will create this kind of a grid. What is a grid? You will have to write 4 compensable factors and 4 grades. Now, next, what will you do? There are job descriptions. I will give it to you once. Okay. Now, there are job descriptions. You have to look at the job description and look at the compensable factors definitions with the job descriptions. And generally, you can also do assumption because a little hypothetical job descriptions. And what will you do? You will evaluate the job and say, hey, these jobs are in grade 1. These jobs are in grade 2. So you will map the jobs to their respective grades. How will you do that? By evaluating them, looking into the grade definitions and putting them. Are you very clear? Either you can put them this side or you can put them here down. Like, for example, this is just a project which somebody, one of the candidates has done. Here, if you notice, the compensable factors are what? Qualification, experience, span of control, complexity, creativity. The definitions are also here, right? Now, when you write the definitions, you have to take into consideration all the job families. Okay. So if you have noticed here, it's written, and then based on the definitions, you have actually mapped the respective position to that particular grade. Is this very clear, guys? Okay. Take a picture of this, right? Grading you have to do, and only 10 positions. Now, those 10 positions, where are they? You have them there. Yeah. So if you open your mailbox, you would be having these positions. If you have noticed, you have quality, you have production, then you have yeah, this is only quality. So there are about 15 positions or 20 positions, but please take only 10 positions, but do not take positions from only 1 or 2 job families. Take a mixed lot and then map those 10 positions to the respective grades. I will be there to help you all work on this. Map the 10 positions to the respective grades. Got it? Is the task very clear? You are doing a job grading. So this organization has these 10 positions. It has actually more. Now you are grading them so that irrespective of any function, you are mapping these positions into a respective grade. Have you guys finished?
Yeah, we have.
Yes,
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 You
ma'am.
have. Okay. Maybe you can share the screen because the other group is still at it. Yeah.
This is what we have
Yeah.
mapped.
So who is okay. A. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Okay.
Can I zoom in?
Let me now clarify. Okay. When you're doing job evaluation, you don't do for every position. Are you with me?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What you have done is the same compensable factor definitions, but you have put it for every position and then given a that. So instead of this, you could have just put this entire grade definitions and map the positions, just all of them under grade 1, whatever positions you decided to have, under grade 2 positions, under grade 3, and under grade 4. Are you with me?
Okay. So you mean to say instead of
Doing
creating a different tables, we can map under all the same
exactly.
one
Instead of
category.
creating a different
Okay.
table,
Okay. Okay.
you
Understood.
can create just one table,
Okay.
and then under each that B column, at the end of it, you could give your listing all the positions which come under grade 1, listing
Okay.
all the positions which come under grade 2, listing all the positions which come under grade 3 and grade 4. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you can just give me which are those positions which you have said. Let me have a look at your compensable factors. No how. Okay. 0 to 3, IC roll 2, 2, medium, medium, high, high. Okay.
With conflict.
We can use this. This is very nice. What do you say, Manish, Shobit? See, grade level, entry, intermediate, experience.
But I
See,
think we have to discuss on these things. Otherwise, we will
yeah,
not be able to present
we'll
it.
discuss that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
So,
okay. Yeah. So we can take you from here. This is very nice, and you should
shall
go
I?
back.
Do you want me to work on our one, or we can use this only?
No, R1.
Yeah, use your one. This is just for reference, which I had ready with me. So
So
use.
what I'll do, I can copy paste that here, basically.
We can
Shall I
use
use
some.
this then?
We can, yeah. We can put some description from here so that it saves us from typing a lot. So
Yeah. That's why I shared it. So you don't have to type a lot.
yeah.
So I'm saying high school. I'll remove this ITI and all that. I'll do this.
Okay.
Okay. Then experience, little to no experience in sort of any positions. Shall I copy this up? Manish, Shobit, shall I? This is experience, little to no.
Okay.
Actually, in this level, these level, we are going to train them. Means the organization is training them.
See, the thing that we have already written there is also good. So I'm not, see, we can take some more inspiration for the higher level question. The first question we have already mapped. Okay.
Yes, no managerial responsibilities. I can say that individual control team members. I'll copy this. Yes, I'll say here. This seems to be good.
UG should be there. That's
Okay.
our thought
So for
process.
grade 1, what is the minimum qualification for quality? Right there. For grade 1, what is the minimum qualification for HR? Right there. For grade 1, what is the minimum qualification for production or whatever you are writing? Right there. Now for grade 2, the next level of qualification right there. Are you getting my clarity now?
Yes, yes.
Huh? Because now you have written, say, for example, this one. Know how under grade 2, you wrote undergraduate qualification. Whereas this is, I think, it should be under grade 1. Correct? Because you have experience, you have written rightly. You have also written span of control correct. But your qualification, you have not written correctly.
But
For
as
grade
what
2.
she says, the JD mentions the qualification as UG. So that is the reason we have taken it. I mean, take that input from that JD and matched it for the quality functions.
Okay.
But when
So
it
you are
comes
saying
to HR, when
that
it
the
comes to
quality management, yeah, I'm saying I'm okay with it for quality UG qualification. But for other positions also, for other job functions or families, mention those qualifications here. Like, for example, Know-how. This is for, can you just scroll down? I want to see for which position.
So,
Can you
ma'am,
scroll down?
so can
Hmm.
we say UG stroke any graduate stroke?
Now. So now you have written PG qualification. This is for which position of PG qualification? Add
This
this also
was
here
HR.
in your know-how here. Huh?
Huh.
Add that. Like for example, in grade 4 for your what is it? LLB.
Yeah, ठीक है.
Would you want span of control? Basically, see, 2 to 5 is correct. May include supervision of entry level employees, some team leadership employees.
Yes, so I think it can be span of control. It may be IC or it may be having 2 to 3 employees, may 2 to 3 say shop floor employees may report unto him.
Leadership isn't required here.
No. Let's not make it complex. Let's
No,
keep.
leadership is not required in this.
Okay. Complexity would be these are moderate problem solving skills. This is basic problem solving skills. Here we'll say moderate problem skills.
Yeah. Problem solving skill is required there.
There is an QA, there is a
Ah.
HR, and there is
Hmm.
a finance, and there is some other project
Right.
engineers as well.
Right.
So
Right.
in a
Ha.
grade way,
Ha.
we can just mention it undergraduate. Undergraduate grade for the grade way can go for any position. There can be a
No.
BA to like a BTech as well.
No. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe in a grade 1, your requirement for production could be a different qualification.
Right.
Your requirement for an HR person could be a different qualification, know-how. Your requirement for finance could be a different qualification. So you incorporate all that. And if you think, no, it doesn't have grade 1, it starts from grade 2, then incorporate that qualification in grade 2.
You mean to say we have to mention that /// and then it can be eligible as per the like position. So if we just mention in grade 1 UG / like other
With
HR
postgraduate.
diploma or
yeah,
finance, for example,
yeah.
I'll tell you, when I say job grading, say for example, you have written quality analyst, you have written project engineer. Quality analyst comes from quality function. Project engineer comes from project function. Factory HR executive comes from HR function, right?
Right.
Huh? Now, these 3 positions, looking at their job content, you have put them under grade 1. Okay. What does it mean? That irrespective of the functions, irrespective of whatever it is, all these positions, you are saying that they are of what? Similar worth. Are you getting me?
Hmm.
Similar worth or similar value. That means, see, when you are recruiting, have you noticed? When you are recruiting at a grade 1 or when you are recruiting at a grade 2 level, you will have somebody from production or you will have somebody from IT or you will have somebody from, so that position will be in that particular grade. So all the positions, irrespective of their different functions or departments, if they are in that particular grade, what does it mean? That they are of equal worth or equal value. Are you getting me that? Is that clear now, Avinash? I think you had that clarification. Huh?
Yes.
Just go reflect on in your own organization. I can have a finance guy in a grade 1. I can have an HR person in a grade 1. I can have a production person in a grade 1. What does that mean? That means all those positions are of similar worth or similar value.
Value. Okay.
Got it? Worth or value. Now I have still not come to that fixing salaries to those grades. Here only we are trying to put them into those grades. Okay? That's the next step. Got it?
So
Is
see
everybody
now,
clear about it? Huh?
yeah. I mean, Hema
You
has
are
made
very
the
clear.
changes. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So as long as you've understood, because you'll get some homework to do. So is this very clear now? Job
Yeah,
grading?
ma'am. Ma'am,
How-
can you
Yes.
please just check it now? The know-how I have mapped based on your inputs.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. Okay. This is the way you have to do it. Okay,
Fine.
good. So you have put qualifications, you have put experience, you have put span of control, and you have put creativity. Okay. And
Yeah.
then looking at the job descriptions, you have evaluated them and then put them in the respective grades of grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Done. So what does it mean? All these quality project managers, all of them are of the equal value or worth who belong to grade 1. These positions are in grade 2. These positions are in grade 3. So they have to be paid salaries, similar salaries or equal salaries. Okay. But I have not said now we are going to fix them. You will see how we are going to fix them. Okay. Okay. Now let me see if the other group has for that. Can I quickly look at Manish's group's job grading?
Arjun, would you be presenting your screen? So
Span of control. Okay, good. So where are the jobs?
we could not define the jobs
No
against all.
problem. No problem. No problem. As long as you have understood, huh? Have you understood?
So yes, we understood.
So,
Arjun,
so you have created good. You have created the definitions and the factors definitions, compensable factor definitions. Now, all that you needed to do was read the job description and then look at all the compensable factor definitions and then map them. Okay, done. All right. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at the definitions. I think now you're on the right track. Okay. Now, can you just withdraw? I want to share something, guys.
Yeah.
Quickly. Then I'll give you a small break. Now, what is very important? What have we done? We have actually. So, in this job evaluation exercise, I've taken all my positions which are there in my organization. I've done grading depending on the number of grades I want and depending on the compensable factors. I said I've mapped them. Okay. So, you have, but that is not the end of it. I have to actually then assign salaries. That's the key, right? That is my purpose of the exercise. How do I go about? So there is a term called, we say cluster analysis. What is it? Cluster analysis. So typically when you're doing a job evaluation, designing and fixing salaries, the first thing is you're doing evaluation. What did you do? Job grading. The next exercise you need to do is you get the market data. What you will do? You'll get the market data. So, for example, this is another project we have done. So these are the 8 positions I've taken. Just like you guys have, I asked you to take 10 positions. These are 8 positions. I've done job grading. I've assigned grades also, where 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, done. All right. Now, this is the market data.
Salary.
Okay, market salary. Now, how do I get, this is next session, I'm going to tell you how do we do benchmarking and get the market data. Right now, just say that I have actually collected this market salary data from the peer company market data. Now I will do cluster analysis. So what, for that I can do one scattergram. What will I do? Just do this, okay? Then go to insert, all right? Then go to charts and then go to. So everybody knows this. Let me make it bigger. I'll just make it a little so that you can see. Let's make it. Right? What have I done? A
Scatter diagram.
scattergram. Very easy to do a scattergram. Now in this scattergram, what can I see? One axis, if I call this as x-axis, I can see that these are grades 1, 2, and 3. And I can see cluster of 3 jobs here, 3 jobs here, and 3 jobs. And in the other axis, which is the salary, market data salary, I can see that 3 jobs. So say, for example, I will then, I can also do one more thing. I can do a, I have also added a trend line. Okay. Correct. Now, can you see what is cluster analysis? Now, I can see 3 jobs clustered here. The lowest job is at what? Say about 18,000? Market data? Yes, no? You can see that? And the highest job here is around how much? Say
20,000.
20,000. So that is one cluster. Now, what are we trying to do? We are going to fix salaries. How do I fix salaries? First of all, I'll get market data and then do a scatter graph. That is, I'll take the jobs on one axis and the market data on the other. And now here, if you can see, the lower job, the minimum is how much? Say about, say 20,000. And the highest is about, again, say 30,000. And this one, if you can see, it's about 50,000. And so now can I create a grade salary range? And how will I create a grade salary range? I can take this as the minimum. Say here I've said grade 1 because this grade 1, 18,000. And max as the 20,000. Okay. Again, I've taken grade 2, 20,000 and 30,000. The next one is 50,000 and 70,000. Now, typically what happens when you're trying to fix grades, you also have to do some kind of a mechanical calculations. What is that? Say, for example, I put a grade 1 as 18,000 to 20,000. Got it? Now, on an average in my organization, okay, the average stay, what is it? Average stay in that grade for me, you have to look at it generally, is say, I'm just writing 3 years. I'm being little hypothetical. 3 years. Okay. What did I write? 3 years.
Average stay 3 years.
Average stay is 3 years. Now, also, you will have high performing people, low performing, but average increment, say for example, I'm giving how much? 2,000 rupees. Like, for every year, average increment. Say if it is 2,000 rupees, for 3 years, how much will it be?
6,000.
6,000.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, is the difference between min and max 6,000? How much?
No.
How much
2,000.
is it?
2,000.
I think
2,000.
min is, we should put 15,000, Nirmala.
What?
I think the grade 1, your minimum is 15,000. As per store assistant, you see, you're given grade 1.
Grade 1, no, market
15,000.
data.
Yeah,
Market data is
15,000.
15,000, is it? Okay, I'll put it as
15. Yeah. 15,000. So 5,000 difference.
Now, what is the difference? 5,000.
5,000.
Okay. But average stay is 3 years with an average increment of 2,000. So what does it mean? That means for career progression for that band, in that grant, I need to increase that maximum by how much?
1,000.
Are you getting me now?
Right.
So I have made a new band I will create here. So that means grade 1, grade 1 will be 15,000 to how much?
21. 1.
Okay, got it? Likewise, say from grade 1 to grade 2 here, maybe because I will say maybe 4 years or maybe 5 years average stay. Huh? If average stay is
How do
5
we,
years, huh?
how,
How do I come to 3 years and 5 years? I
okay,
have to look internally.
how can we calculate? So we have to
I
look
have
at
to
the
look internally, my
uh,
own structure and see, hey, typically what is my promotion policy? How are people generally being promoted, getting promoted from grade 1 to grade 2? Are you with me? Because
okay.
you have to align that with your grading structure. Because, say, for example, I don't provide the salary range of 21,000. That means where will he go? I've already reached max. So should I push him up to grade 2? Are you with me now? Okay.
Yeah.
So how will you fix this? You have to look internally and look at your own data. What is your promotion policy? What is happening generally on an average stay? What is the minimum required, etc. Say, for example, average stay is 5 years. And again, your increment, say, for example, you are just giving about, it could be just 2,000 or it could be, say, 2,500. So how much will it be for 5 years? How much?
12,500.
12500,
500.
right? So is the difference between 20,000 and 30,000? So what will you do? You will again extend the maximum. Are you with me?
Yes.
So that's how you will look at internally and look at your min max and look at the data which you have got from the market and then extend your salary range. Okay. And having done that, but here only few positions, so it has come like this, the data. But when you have all the positions for your organization, because the sample is very small. Are you with me? The sample is very small as well. So then what do you do with the grades? You can actually have all your benefits, etc., aligned to your grades. Grade 1, you can say, hey, reimbursements, what allowances, travel allowance, stay allowance, maybe internet allowance. All those allowances can be then aligned with your, all the benefits can be aligned with your grades. And this is how in job grading, you actually fix salaries or design salaries, taking into consideration, once you have done the job grading, you will look at your market data and do it. Any questions here, guys? Manish? Fairly simple method. Okay. Any questions?
One thing.
Yeah.
So in
Yep.
the second example for the grade two, you're saying that average increment. So we are taking too many hypothetical situation that average
No,
stays.
don't take, here I'm taking hypothetical, but you don't take hypothetical. You look at your own organization. Are you with me, Manish? Maybe here there are only 3 grades. You look at your own grades. How many grades are there? You look at your own data, look at your own promotion policy. See, typically what is the average stay period if a person is getting promoted from grade 1 to grade 2? Average increment, how much are they giving? So am I then creating that much of salary range then? Does that
Okay.
clarify, Manish? Huh? Here I've taken hypothetical, but I'm asking you to take your own data.
A complex exercise because to get all these inputs, that number of average stay at a certain grade and the kind of average increment, we need to have some few years of data to determine these kind of things.
Maybe not few years, at least 1 year data is good enough because promotion policy doesn't change often, right?
So how would you define that? What is the average increment given at certain grade? So you have to come up with
You will
last
have promotion
data.
policy, everything will be explicitly said that from one grade to another, the average period, minimum required will be this much. No?
Ma'am, in corporate, it does not work
Generally,
like.
we get a percentage, like on an average 8%, increment on a particular rating. So, Nirmala ma'am, how do we average it out? Like, say a very good rating would on an average get 10%, an average rating would get about 8%, a poor rating 3%, like that.
So
So
affected by
that I will actually help you with it, because what happens, because you asked, Arjun, I will just give it in. So when you're doing this annual exercise, of performance appraisal and annual increment and percentage of increment. So typically what happens, you'll get a survey data and you'll say, hey, for this pharma industry, say, in general, the increment is ranging from, say, because you will have a lot of companies, 8 to 10%. So your CEO will take a call based on whatever your wage cost, etc., because that's very, very important. He'll say, okay, let us go with the 8% increment. All right. So once that 8% increment is done, doesn't mean that that 8% increment will be given to everybody.
No.
Why?
No.
Because obviously individuals will vary in their levels of performance. So you will have some kind of an appraisal rating for your own performance. It could be 1 to 5 or 1 to 3. Today nobody follows the bell curve, so they are typically following the bell curve is out generally because it doesn't motivate you. 1 to 3, etc. So that then what will happen? This entire your increment, then what? On the rating scale of 1 to 3, then what percentage of people will you give 3? What percentage will you give 2? And what percentage will you give 1? Okay. Based on that, then you will also give the increment. So I will actually deal with that in my next one, so that you are very, very clear about it. But because you have asked, because we will do that budget considerations and annual increment, how will we disperse that? But is this very clear, Venkat? Avinash? Venkat? Avinash?
I do have some questions, ma'am, here. Because
Yeah.
of that,
But
I just want to understand this exercise very deeply now as well. Because this exercise I'm doing every month on every 3 months as well. The salary analysis. Why
okay.
I do have a questions, because of that. This is the analysis we have did on the basis of a role. In IT
Okay.
industry, what we are doing, we are mapping on the basis of technology expertise. So we
Okay.
cannot compare the salary as per the role. We are just giving the salary as per the market on the basis of technology expertise person
Yes,
for the
we are
project.
coming there now. So we will. So this is one method, and this method is mostly used where public sectors, large organizations, etc. Okay, great. So what we have just seen is a method called job grading, which is a job evaluation method, wherein we are evaluating jobs in an organization, and then mapping them to the grades which are determined by us. Okay. And you have seen the entire process. And then we do the cluster analysis to fix salaries. Now, job grading is a qualitative method and a whole job method. You have noticed that when you are actually mapping, you will say, hey, this can be a grade 1 also, this can be a grade 2 also, because the definitions for 2 compensable factors are matching into grade 1, and definition for 2 compensable factors are matching into grade 2. So therefore, in fact, when you're doing a grade job grading, typically you will have 4 to 6 compensable factors only, but you can have any number of grades, because as I said, job grading is essentially used by large organizations which have narrow banding, and like, for example, governments and public sectors, etc. Okay. Now we are coming to another method called point plan method, which is what? A quantitative method and more objective. So obviously quantitative method means objective, and it is not whole job method. It is, again, you use a compensable factors method, but you break them down. The job is broken down so that you are able to evaluate and objectively evaluate and arrive at a job value. And the job, when you are arriving at a job value, it looks like this. Say, like For example, can you see that vice president job, 460 points, or general manager, like this is for only sales and marketing function. So by the virtue of looking at total points for that job, you can say obviously 460 point job is higher than 125 points, right? Very objective. Okay. So how do you assign points? How are you evaluating? Again, this point plan method has a process. The first step is common, just like grading method, where you are using what? Identifying compensable factors. Okay. But thereafter, the process differs. Now let us just go back to that worked out example so that it will become much easier. Okay. So what is step one? Step one is
Compensable
again
factors.
identifying compensable factors. Correct? So there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 compensable factors I have identified. Education, work experience, knowledge, and leadership and supervisory responsibility. Based on what? Based on the business context, organization, etc. And when I'm identifying compensable factors, I am not identifying compensable factors for every job or for every function. No, it depends. I can take non-exempt or the supervisory level and the manager level, or I can also take one bunch, say for support staff, professional staff, technical staff. So I will have different compensable factors there. Okay, is that very clear? Now what is step 2 now? In step 2, what are we calling it as? We are calling it as degrees of differentiation. If you read any compensation book on point plan method, it will say degrees of differentiation. Don't get overwhelmed with that word degree of differentiation. What does it mean? Simply saying that, hey, depending on this organization's complexity, is it simple or complex or very? Now, typically, how do you do that? You take the lowest job and the highest job. Say in education, how much the lowest level job will be what kind of an education, and the highest level job will be what kind of an education. So degrees of differentiation is how many differentiations do you want to have for every compensable factor? Got it? Or the intensity of that compensable factor. So please unlearn, this is not grade 1, grade 2. This is degree. I'm again repeatedly saying you have to unlearn that what you learned in grade method, grade 1. So don't think that grade 1 and degree 1 is the same. For example, what does it mean? Let me just show you, because this is very important. When I talk about degree, I said intensity. What is intensity? Say, for example, knowledge is a compensable factor. Okay? Knowledge is a compensable factor. How many degrees are stated here? If you can see, 5 degrees, 5 levels. So, simply to say, if you read the definition of a first degree for knowledge, it is so simple. Use of reading and writing, adding and subtracting of whole numbers, following instructions, use of fixed gauges, direct reading of instrument, etc., etc. It could be for a scientific company. But read the 5th degree, use of higher mathematics involved in the application of engineering principles, together with comprehensive knowledge of theories and practices. So are you seeing that there is a difference in the intensity of knowledge required at degree 1 and at degree 5? It is not grade 1 and grade 2. These are degrees. Intensity. The intensity at degree 1 is very low. Intensity at a degree 5 is at the highest. Is that very clear, please? Because this is very important for you to understand. Let's go back to that. Okay. So, if you notice, how many degrees have I said based on the organization's need? 4 degrees. So, education. At a degree 1, diploma. At a degree 2, graduation. At a degree 3, I said post-graduation. And at a degree 4, post-graduation and field certification. Whatever, it could be quality, or it could be an HR certification or whatever. Now, when you write these degree definitions, you cannot afford to have overlapping. Wherein in grading, you can have an overlapping. But here in this, you cannot have an overlapping. Why? Because you are going to assign points. Very clear? Have you seen work X 0 to 2? I'm sorry, it is not 0, but it is from 3 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 10. Okay? Very clear? Knowledge, basic facts, understands processes, has a conceptual framework, can synthesize. Are you seeing a difference in the definition of degree 1 and in the definition of degree 4? Are you seeing a difference? Yes. Because here, this person, whoever works here, just understanding basic facts are okay. But this guy has to synthesize and do everything and a strategy, a lot of knowledge. Likewise, if you see leadership. Now, this is simple. Here, some amount of work you have done in grading, so it's simple. Now, when we talk about a point plan, step 3, what is it? Weightage for the compensable factors. Not all the compensable factors are equal importance. For example, what Avinash was saying, I might have technology expertise as one of the compensable factor, and I will say that becomes my key, so I can have higher weightage. Avinash, are you getting me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I can have a higher weightage. But when I say weightage, that means what? Even if I have 6 compensable factors, even if I have 8 compensable factors, all of them should add up to how much? Weightage means?
100.
When I say weightage means 100, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
So when I say weightage, this means 20%, 25%, 60, 15%, and 40%. So if you add up, it's all 100.
100.
Okay. Now the next thing what you need to do, you have to populate the point plan. Populate the point plan. How will you populate a point plan? Simple. 20 into 1, 20. 20 into 2, 40. 20
Okay.
into 3, 60. 20 into 4, 80. So likewise, if you see,
It
you
is
are
into
multiplying
degree.
them.
Okay.
And then if you are adding under 1 degree, it is 100. Under 2 degrees, it is 200 if you add up all this. Under 3, it is 300. Under 4, it is 400. Let me just show you one more point plan also so that you have a good idea of what are we talking about. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to go to the PowerPoint. Yeah. Yeah. Can you quickly tell me what is the percentage here for education? 14% weightage. Okay. How many degrees are there here?
5 degrees.
How many degrees? 5 degrees. Absolutely. So the weightages, you can actually take the first one as here 14%, 22%, 14%. Okay. Under effort, it is 10 plus 5, 15%. Under responsibility, it is 20%. Under working conditions and other, that is job condition, it is 15%. So now are you getting? These are the compensable factors. What are they? Under skill, you have education, experience, knowledge. Under effort, you are having physical demand, mental demand. Under responsibility, you are having for a manufacturing organization, equipment, material, safety, work. Okay. Job conditions, why are they very important? Because in manufacturing organizations, do you know that they work under very severe working conditions, right? So that also becomes a very, compensable factor. Are you with me now? Let me also show you one more so that you just get a feel of. Can you see here? For all this 50%, 15%, 20%, 15%. Are you getting a clue? How are we doing? Okay, let us get back to the main one.
How will we will decide weightage for every
Good
you can say
question.
component?
Very good question. Manish? Yeah. So,
Weightage.
whoever has asked this question, typically, as I said, when we are talking about a job evaluation, that means it's all about what dollar, it's all about money. So, this kind of a decision, nobody takes it independently or individually, right? There is a committee, either you are outsourcing or you are doing it, but definitely it's a consensus. So even if the HR is driving this, HR will definitely have a committee of all the other business leaders, and they are the ones who will say, okay, if these are the compensable factors, going by our understanding of the business, what do you think? Like Avinash Singh, there for them, for their technical stream, technical um those because the market is so dynamic and fluid. What was yesterday as a technology changes today, so it is premium. So they have a heavy weightage on the technical certifications or technical knowledge, or so that will have a higher weightage, right? Maybe in a product leadership company, I will say, hey, we have to all the time drive products, new features, milestones matter. So creativity, innovation, I will give higher percentage. Manish, I think it was Manish was asking, or anybody else. But that's how you are not taking it individual decision. You are coming together, discussing, and then, but no compensable factor should be more than 50%. Then what happens? It becomes skewed.
It has one more angle to it, that in terms of uh, see, in a manufacturing setup, it might be a little easier, that because it is requiring more on a manual or say physical strength.
Right.
But what about those jobs which needs your more creative or mental strength side? How do you decide the compensable factors or the weightage of the point?
I'm coming to that. So maybe once I finish with this, then your question will be automatically be responded. Okay. That's the beauty of it. Okay. So I have created this. So compensable factors, degrees of differentiation, weightages. And I've also written the definitions for all this. Now I have also created a template. Now coming to your question. Now what will I do? Say for example, I'm doing the next step 4 is creating the point plan. And then step 5 is evaluating the job. So say, for example, I have this job description for an HR executive. Got it? So I will say, hey, for education, typically looking at the job description, if I have post-graduation, so how many points will I give? Is this,
60 points.
should I make it bigger?
It's
Can you
visible.
see now?
Visible,
How many?
yes.
Is it visible? How many
Yes.
points will I give? How many
60.
points? Huh?
20 to 360.
You
20,
see how many points? Huh?
60
I'm
points.
saying as per the job description, the HR executive needs post-graduation. So which one will I choose?
60
Which
points.
one, how many points will I give?
60 points.
60.
Towards
Exactly. Exactly. What will I give? 60 points. Say, for example, now responding to Manish's point, or even Avinash's point, I will write technology here. So there is an IT software developer. Technology becomes very important. So what I need not go by the job grading, only 1, only 2, only 3. No, I will assign points required by the what? By the job description. For example, working condition. Maybe a production manager, he will be working in such dismal conditions. So supposing it was written here, working conditions, I might give a very, high point wherever it is. And for somebody who's sitting in the corporate office, he may be getting at only a degree 1. Got it? Manish, are you with me now? So let
Yes.
us continue with this. Okay. HR executive. So education, I'm saying 60 points. All right. Then work experience, I'm saying work experience should be about 2 to 4 years. So how many points will I give?
2 to 4 years of experience, 50 points.
50 points. So I'm going to, let me also do the annotation then maybe. Yeah. So this is one for my HR executive. Okay. Then I'm connecting this.
For
Okay. Now, next, I will say for knowledge. Huh? He can, in the job description says, understanding processes, etc. is good enough. So how many points will I give?
30.
Huh?
30.
So I will give
30
30.
points.
Can you see that the definition here?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And leadership supervisory performs. He has to perform and execute everything. So I will give 80. So that means the total points for HR executive will be 60 plus 50 plus 30 plus 80. All the compensable factors which total up to 220.
20.
So I have not said, okay, I will only take all of this here. I will take only all of this here. No. Depending on the job description, I can go anywhere, match anything. I have to pull up what is the intensity of the compensable factor required. And what will tell me? The definition of that compensable factor will tell me. And I will pick up the points. Are you with me? Not put that. So, like for example, I have certain positions. So this is a point plan for a manufacturing organization. So the production manager, I will say he might, his working conditions are here. So I'll give 50 points. But maybe a secretary, I might give just 10. You with me?
Yeah.
Huh? So depending on the intensity, so say for example, a responsibility for a production manager, equipment and process, he'll be here. But say maybe for a secretary, it is only maybe 5, maybe 10, depending on the job description. So I will decide based on the job content or job description, whatever is written there, and assign points. But I don't have to assign points all first degree, second degree, third degree. Any clarification so far? Okay.
ma'am, we have to do it ourselves to understand it more.
No, we'll do that. Now, what are you doing? Say, for example, you are collecting all the positions and you are what? Totaling up the
Adding.
points, huh? Adding up all the points for the compensable factors, and you are doing this way. Okay. Next, just don't look at this one. Just look at this point value. So now have you understood how I have arrived at these points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clear? Everybody clear?
Simple
Yeah.
point,
So
ma'am.
this is the point value. That means I have only done job evaluation and arrived at the job value or the worth of the jobs, right? Higher the points, higher the job. Lower the points, lower the job. But that doesn't still tell me how much I need to pay. Got it? I have not still fixed the salary. Now, how will I fix salary? First of all, typically, though I have not arranged here, typically arrange them in ascending or descending order. Okay? It helps. Now we will be doing something called a statistical, using a statistical tool and analysis called regression. Don't get scared by regression. Very simple. All right. What will we be doing? Regression. Why should we be doing regression? Because by using that regression, we'll be able to predict, taking the market data, that how much should I be paying? Okay. And create a pay line around it. So I need to take market data. Okay. So here I have taken, if these positions are in the location of Hyderabad, like Avinash was saying, no, we have 4 positions. So we definitely take, market into consideration. So these are all salaries prevalent in Hyderabad. Here, any doubts? Any doubts till here? Okay. Now what will you do? You have to calculate 2 values when you have to do regression. What are those 2 values? One is called the slope and the other is called the intercept. I will also tell you what is the slope and intercept. But right now, just think it, for regression, you have to calculate 2 values, slope and intercept. How will you do that? Just go to function X. All right. Put. All right. I'm sorry. You can go to insert formula. Okay. Insert function. Then enter. 1 second. Okay. Now, when we are talking about point value, it's always written as X. And we also call this as independent variable, IV. Okay. In a regression, we call it as independent variable, IV. So now when you have to do this insert function, now what am I calculating? Slope. Okay. Known wise, known X's. X is an independent variable, which is always a point value. Y is a dependent variable, DV, which is market value. So Y, the market value is dependent on the point value. Just like when we say, that the amount of fertilizer you put, the growth of the plant will be there. So here, the growth of the plant, when you measure it, it's the dependent variable, and fertilizer is the independent variable. So likewise, now what will you do? Known wise. Guys, what is the value of slope?
259.67.
7, right? So we can make it as 259.68. We can round it off. Okay. Now I'll put intercept. Let me put here. Okay. Now insert function and go to intercept. Then okay. Then again known wise. All right. All right. And then known X's. Click. Okay. So what is the intercept value? What is the intercept value?
Salary will be the intercept value.
The intercept value is minus 20428.507. We can round it off to the nearest. Say maybe you can say 20428.6. Okay. Now, if you can see, there is a column here, pay line salary Y, right? What does this mean? That is, you have done a regression by calculating the value of slope and the intercept. Now, if you want to find out what is that you need to pay for an HR executive, you are predicting the salary, taking what? The market data, then that pay line salary is equal to slope multiplied by the point value plus intercept. Are you with me?
Right.
Yeah. Let me. Okay, guys. So any clarifications here? Slope multiplied by the point value plus intercept. So what have I done essentially here to get the pay line salary? If you have noticed, D4, which is the point value, multiplied by the slope bracket minus 20429. So that gives you what the predicted or what you should be paying for an HR executive in your organization. Arjun,
Yes.
you are giving me a question mark. Huh?
No, I could get it. You use the formula Y is equal to mx plus c. M is the slope,
Yeah,
x is the
yeah,
point
I'll
value
come
plus
to that.
the
Absolutely, I'll come
constant.
to that. Yeah, yeah.
That's what you have used.
So because a lot of people are not familiar with mx plus b, right? So I was wanting to say slope multiplied by the point value and intercept. And once you get this, you just draw it and you will get the entire pay line salary. Now,
Okay.
you have predicted the pay line salary, but say for example, I have hired Manish as an HR executive. I can't have an absolute salary, There should be a pay progression. If his average stays for 2 years in that grade, or if his average stays for 3 years, I need to have a pay progression. I have to create what is called a salary. What is that I need to create? Salary
Range.
range. How will I create? By, say, at a lower level, typically the norm is you can have a 5 to 10%. Say, for example, if this is your median, minus 10 plus 10. That's how you can create a range. Are you with me? I've
Right.
created a pay band. So I can create a range. Now, also, so what have I done? Lot of organizations, they use a point plan to create their pay lines. But now, how will you create grades? Because all your benefits will be aligned with grades. So what will I do? I will do something called, I will
Band.
take my points. Say, for example, what is my highest? 360, right? So I can say for every 100 points, whatever positions fall into that, I can create one grade. Are you with me? So take the lowest. What is the lowest here? 100. Say from 100 to maybe I will create 108. If you go back to that paired comparison. So I'm bucketing. How many positions will fall from 100 to 184 position? Store assistant, senior store, engineer and engineer. Typically, all of them are of the similar nature, right? And so I can create one grade 100 to 180. The next grade 181 to maybe again say 220 or 265. Another grade from 265 to 360 or 320. So here, because the positions are very few, so when you have a range of 20, 30, 40 positions, now you can bucket them into different grades. Special care has to be taken at the cutoff to see that the job at the cutoff, does it fall into a lower grade or a higher grade? And what will decide that? Depending on the nature of that responsibility. Got it? Are you with me? So that becomes your grade with a min and a max, which I have also written here. See, you're creating the points, right? 100 to 120 points, and then with a minimum of this and with the maximum of this. You're creating a band. Okay. You will have this data with you. Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the time factor, I'm not, otherwise I would have usually made you all do everything, calculating point values, everything, creating that. But that I will give you as a homework. But here, just look at this. Here there are 14 positions, right? There are 14 positions. Now, taking into consideration the point plan, I have also evaluated the jobs and evaluated the total point value for every position. Got it? Okay. Now, don't take market salary per annum. Leave that. Take market salary per month. So this column, you can hide it. Got it? Which will be your X column? Point
Total.
plan.
Point value.
Which will be your Y column? Market. I want you to do what? Please predict the salary and create a range plus minus. So for the lower positions from 1 to, I would say 1 to 2 will be, you can create a grade. Then you create grades because all of you are experienced people. All right. Low, middle and top. Create grades. And then I would also ask you to create the range by saying 10% plus minus, 25% plus minus, and 35% plus minus. Okay? Individual exercise. Very easy. And let me see how you will be doing. Any clarifications before you get down into this work? Do you all have this?
Yes.
Do you have? Okay. So put it on an Excel sheet. What do you need to do? You have to calculate the slope value and the intercept value. Then use the formula. What is that formula? That predictive salary or salary to be calculated is what? Point value multiplied by slope
Minus
plus
intercept.
intercept. But if you have a minus value, then it will be a minus intercept. Got it? You can also do various methods. What have I done? I've highlighted this, right? Huh? Insert. Chart. Okay. Done.
Yeah.
Let me just make it a little bigger. Okay. Now, add a trend line. And can you see I'm scrolling down? Display equation, display R square. Can you see that?
Yeah.
In formatting, I have actually checklisted on that. Now, can you see there is, can you read this? Can you see, here? You have this, the slope value and the intercept value here,
Yes.
right? And there is something called R square is equal to 0.99.
Hmm.
What does that denote? R square is the regression. Okay? Coefficient of determination. Then, now when you're doing regression and you want to predict salary, typically this R square should be between at least 85% and above. Okay? 0.85 and above. What does it denote? That means that your market salary is dependent 85% on point value. And that other 15% is dependent on other variables. Now, if I say 65%, if your R square is 0.65 or 0.75, then there are other variables. 30% of your other variables are dependent on something else. So typically when you're using this regression for predicting salaries, you have to ensure that your R square is anything above 85. And here it is 0.99. So you can see this is called a pay line, which we will learn is in you can see that it is almost 0.99. Are you with me, guys? This is one method of doing your slope and intercept. There's one more. Okay, I want you to start doing that first. Then I will show you all the other shortcut methods of doing, other ways of doing, calculating slope and intercept. Okay? Yeah. Can you, I gave you that data. I want you all to work on this quickly. All right.
Ma'am, I have a query.
Yeah, please.
Can I share my screen, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, make it little. Okay.
Just a sec. I'm trying to change the color. So these were the fields that were known on the sheet. I have calculated slope here. Slope is 129 and intercept is minus 13189. Now
Right.
I
Okay.
calculated slope into point value. So
now, no. So now I will recommend, now delete your slope and intercept here. Delete that.
Okay.
Delete
So
that. Okay. Clear it off. Okay. Now clear that off. Very good. Now you know that for every position, if you have to slope multiplied by the point value and your intercept is minus, right? So minus.
Yeah.
So where is your, so if you do, what you do is equal to Huh?
Okay.
Equal to, and put, so your point value will be what? Which number? Which cell number? A, no, C. I mean, open the bracket
Okay.
and because
do
it
I-
is only the point value which changes, right? Huh? But
So-
you can do the hard, you can do the slope value and the intercept value. You can hardwire it there. You're getting me?
Yeah. So I have already done it. So it is
Okay,
hardwired.
okay,
So the
okay.
slope. So these are
Have
the
you used no slope into this minus intercept? Have you used minus intercept?
no. It is just
Hmm.
the multiplication of slope and point value. So I'm going by
No,
this
no,
for
no,
that y.
don't go by the formula. Y is
So,
equal to slope into point value minus intercept because it is minus.
okay. Yeah.
So you will
Okay.
use minus. Yeah, do that.
So it will be, if I find y is equal to mx plus
Just
c,
put equal to, close the bracket.
mx.
Put a bracket, then it will become better. Close the bracket.
I think I have arrived here. Y is equal to mx plus c is equal to.
Okay, and then draw it. Yeah.
So what is this value? I mean, it is actually, we have started from here. We have
Yes.
arrived.
Yes. So what is this value? 51,204, right? Have you used salary per month or have you used salary per annum?
Salary per month only. We have started from
Salary
here.
per month. Okay, fine.
Oh,
So the director HR, so this is the predicted salary per month. Now you will see that the market salary is 54,000, but when you do a regression, it is throwing up 51,204. Now you also want to check what is the R square. So can you do the R square also?
How do I do it?
How do you do? Highlight this data and then go to insert, do the chart, X and Y data.
This
No.
this
X
plus
and this Y. Yeah. Point value and market data.
I'll just.
Yeah. Just highlight the data.
So I have to insert a graph.
And then you will have to do the chart. Yeah. First highlight it, then go to chart, do the scatter. No, don't take the other data, not the predicted data. Just do the X and Y market data. Just to see what is the right. Okay. Now go to chart. Not that one. The other one, charts. Go to that. Right. Click on that. The one this one you can close it. Okay.
Chart.
First one. Right. Now click on any dot. Take a right. Then do the right. Then click on your right button, add trend line. Then you will get again, click on that also. And then you will get this display equation on chart, display R squared value. Can you see format trend line? And you can go down, scroll down, not there. Just, I can see your column here. You can see forward, backwards, display R equation on chart, display equation on chart. Okay. Now let me see your R square. Yes, 0.97. So it is a good, your regression is good because your R should be anything 1 or less than that. So I said 0.85 and more. So yeah. So now what is this value? Yeah. So just responding to Manish.
Sure.
X is a point value. Y
Hmm.
is your market salary based on your independent variable point value and based on the market data. You've done a regression. Why do you do a regression? To predict what you have to pay. So the salary, this Y column, so this is called pay line Y. Okay, that means director HR regression is predicting 51,204 as opposed to what is the market salary. Just show me 1 second. Your arrow is there.
50.
If you take
This
out your, yeah, yeah, if you just, what is the salary showing there?
54,000 for director HR.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, director finance, 44,000, 44,583 is the market data, but it is saying, hey, pay him 60,000. So you'll say, hey, but while market data is showing that, why is it showing this? This is called, when you do a regression, it takes care of what? Not just one job. It is taking a set of data of all the positions and it is establishing internal equity. Are you with
Okay.
me?
So this will maintain internal equity.
Yes, to maintain internal equity, this is what is the salary you need to pay. This is the median data. Got it? This
Okay.
is your median data.
And
Now,
we have here,
if you say, hey, this is your market median data, which through regression you've got, which normally when you go to a Mercer or a Hewitt, they do this. Then you'll say, no, but we want to pay higher than the market, 15% high. So then they will increase this 51,000 by 15% more.
so we can simply
And then
increase.
create a range. Yeah.
Oh,
Then again,
so-
they'll create a range.
Okay.
Hey,
Nirmala
I
ma'am,
hope what
can-
about others? I hope everybody is done this way.
Ma'am, can I share my screen?
Yeah, please. Is it okay,
Yeah.
Manish?
Yeah.
Manish, if you're okay.
Just
Yeah.
one thing I can. This will also.
I just would like to request if the calculation can be done from starting for that one. I just want to see once again how it's going on.
Okay. So I'll just share my logic. So
Yeah.
we started with these two fields. So we were provided with these this data only. Total point value was there. Market salary per month for the respective positions were there. Okay, so I have simply calculated slope. I'll just go here. Slope. What I did just put the
Use
formula
the function formula. Yep.
is equal to slope, and it will automatically give you that if you
Slope
go
value.
is equal to slope, it will you put known x's and you put known y's, and it gives you slope here. Okay, and we again found we calculated intercept using Excel formula. So you put is equal to intercept, you put known what is this? The known y's.
Known x's, known y's, and then you will get the intercept value.
One
Okay.
doubt, Manish, can I ask?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
used the column variable as D first and then C. If you go into the formula of the slope and the intercept, you used
Right.
D and C. So will
Right.
you get the same if we use C and D?
No. Why will you get that? It will be all because the formula says y is a dependent variable, x is a independent variable.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay. So you
So
are actually all your values and everything will go. So you can't do regression that way. It's always an independent variable and a dependent variable. Okay. IV and DV. Got it?
Yeah.
But there are many ways of doing this regression. In fact, if you download, if you from Excel, if you go to the file and download this, what is this? You have this regression tool, you will also get straight away regression.
yes. So
There
I
are
was saying
various methods of doing it. Okay. But I gave you the simplest method to do. Yeah. Can
Good.
Meghna show me her working, Manish, before we
yeah,
close? Yeah.
one thing.
But I hope everybody's got the same value.
What is the
Yes,
significance?
ma'am.
I mean, for the benefit of everyone, what is the significance
Yeah.
of RR? I mean, what does it signifies? How do we interpret in terms of what we are achieving. The R square is 0.9758. What is the significance of it? I mean,
So
how?
R square is called, R square is called coefficient of determination. R square is called the regression. So as a statistical tool, so what does it mean, regression? You're predicting something. When you use regression, you're predicting. Okay? When you are saying correlation, that means you are relating two variables. Now, when you are doing a correlation, that means what? The two variables are independent. Maybe like, if the weight is going up, the height is going up. Are you getting me? Or if you are doing a close check, the amount of errors a person is making. So these are two statistical analysis you do, correlation and regression. When do you use regression? When you want to predict something, when you want to say, hey, I have these independent variable. So regression always takes place when you have two variables, which is independent and dependent. It doesn't happen that they're two totally independent. You can also do multiple regression. That is one independent variable, okay, and many dependent variables also. So, but here we are doing only one linear regression. So that means one independent variable and one dependent. Now you asked me, why should we do or what is the output? So you are predicting, hey, if this is the market data, this is the point value, how much should I pay? Got it? So by doing that regression, you are predicting that what is the salary I need to pay. And once you have that figure, then you can create a range around it. Got it?
Yeah. Nirmala, ma'am, one more doubt.
Yeah.
I put a trend line also. Could you just explain the step of how did we get this equation on the graph? That step.
So I'll try to explain it.
Sure.
You have
I will let us use another Meghana also wanted to do it. Let us use Manish, is it okay? So that hands on, because you will be getting homework now. Yeah. So if you can, Meghana, you wanted to show?
I'll just stop sharing it.
Yeah. Anybody else who wants to share, and so that even the others can follow?
I am
Yeah.
fine with the others, but I just wanted to go through the
Okay, sure.
calculation way. Somewhere I have a problem, the
Let's see.
calculation.
So you can look at Meghana's and then we can have a calculation. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I can see the values are values are correct for Meghna. Meghna, you have any doubt? Who is sharing the screen?
Ma'am, how did we calculate the min and max? I got up to the median salary.
Yeah. So you have already done min and max. How did you do that?
You have put 10% of if.
So when you are calculating min and max, now say for example, I was mentioning about low, middle, and top. Say for example, typically when you're trying to create salary ranges at a lower level, the band is lower. So you can use anywhere between 10% and 15% plus minus. Then for a middle level, you can use anywhere between 20 to 30% plus minus. And for a top level, you can use anywhere between 35% to 50%. So that means, say, for example, a director HR who's actually at top level, you can have min and max. You can create a min and max by say what? Plus minus 50%. Got it? Okay. As you keep growing up the level, advancing above, so your band becomes what? Wider. Because you stay for many years in one band, as opposed to, say, for example, call center executive. In 1 year, he gets promoted to the next level, or maybe at best 2 years. A TL, he becomes a TM in 2 years or 3 years. But a TM doesn't become a manager in 1 or 2 years. He takes at least 3 to 5 years. So if you have to stay in that average stay is 5 years, I also need to have that pay progression allowing him to stay in that grade. Are you with me?
Yes.
Because the job also becomes complex as you keep going higher and higher. So it requires you to stay for a longer tenure. Are you with me now? Guys? Okay. Yeah, I think Avinash had something to say. Avinash, yes,
No,
please.
I know. I just want to see actually somewhere I am having a problem while calculating the slope and
Can you
intercept.
show me the screen? Avinash, that will be better bet. Is that okay with you, Meghna?
No, I am fine with like Meghna's way as well. How she just calculate the slope and
Which one?
intercept, so I can just see. Uh,
Hmm.
right.
See,
How
what you
this
can do
value?
is quickly you can click on any button, format trend line. Okay, click on that blue. Yes. Now go to the right, click and then no, click on that blue. Format trend line. You have already got that, yes? Yeah. Format trend line, add trend line. Then you will get something. If you see, click there. Then you will get display equation, display R square. Got it, Avinash?
Yes, yes.
Then you will get that equation. Now, this is not the only way. There are many other ways to do this. You can actually, there is that quick layout where you can go to the layout, I think layout 7 or layout 6, and you can do that. You'll get regression equation. You can also download um, and calculate directly the regression. Okay. I will send you the short methods. In fact, Vilma will send it to you. So you
I have a
shouldn't be having a
question.
challenge.
I have a question,
Ma'am, I
ma'am.
have a query.
Yeah, tell me.
You talked about, how do we take the minimum ranges, min and max? Typically, when you
Right.
see the salary benchmarking data, you have those percentiles mentioned as P10, P25, P50. I consider this as the median, which could be a P50. So the logic for a P10 or a P25 or a P75 in the further session, we would be covering that as well.
So I don't want to jump the gun, but yet because you have asked a question, let me tell you. When you do job evaluation, you are actually, whatever you are paying, okay. But you are now saying, hey, I want to know what is the actual job worth and job value. And for one time exercise, you are fixing the salary, base salary. Got it?
Right.
Okay. Now, every year, or maybe once in 2 years, you are looking at market data, right? Now,
Yes.
market data where we will look at percentiles, a P, and depending on where I want to be, whether I want to be at a P70 or a P80, then I will do the market corrections. Got it?
Right.
So, which we will do, we will show you how, how do you actually get that P20, P30? How will you look at market data? So, this is job evaluation at one time. You are calculating, say, most of the organizers say, hey, you know what has happened? We have huge compa ratio problems. We have huge salary compression problems. Okay. Because as a startup, we never had a salary structure. We paid people by handshake, saying that as and when people came in, we kept on. But now we realize that it's high time we did job evaluation and then we ensured, what are we paying? Establish internal equity. And then we do this job evaluation. Then we arrive at the worth of the job. And then we will look at market data, taking market data for those positions. What is the market paying? And then we will do regression. Any consultant, Mercer, Hewitt, everybody does the same thing. Then they will arrive at this, what we call it as a pay line salary. What you did it, where have you seen this, what you
Yeah,
wrote as
yeah,
median? Okay.
yeah.
This is a pay line salary. Now, once you have done that, you won't do this exercise every year. Okay.
Yeah.
But you will do course corrections, market corrections.
Hmm.
If there is a, if the economy is a rising economy, obviously, better market corrections. Otherwise, maybe the same salary. So definitely you will do every year, depending on the kind of IT industry has to do it every year, looking at it. Otherwise, you'll be paying lesser salaries. So it doesn't mean that once you have done the job evaluation, etc., that you stop at it and don't even look at market. You have to do course corrections. So that's where market data comes in. Okay. And I will explain to you clearly, hey, what is the median data? Then there, what is this percentile, decile, etc. right?
Right.
If I've taken 100 companies, 20 companies, etc., how do you then analyze and then come to this conclusion of percentiles? Okay, so that we will do in the next session very clearly.
Thank you.
But have you
I'll stop
understood
sharing.
this
Yes,
clearly?
yes. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
How do we do regression? In fact, it's a very good method and you can go and use it in your own organization, and your assignment will be around it, because here you have not calculated, you have not done the points, etc., because we didn't have the time. But when you will take 10 jobs or 15 jobs and do this entire thing of compensable factors, assigning points, etc., then your depth of understanding will be much better. Okay. Yes, Manish. Before we close, anybody who wants to have the last question? Huh?
Ma'am, I have a question. I understood the R square. Uh, can you a little bit explain the another one, intercept? How to interpret the intercept?
Yes, we
Okay.
can see.
All right. Say, for example, if this is your points, okay? Done?
Right.
I will just put this a new thing. Say, I have one here. Okay, I'll just quickly put this. Okay, I'll just show you. And where this number, text, and so here I will say this will be 100 points. I will just put 200 points. All right. Huh? Now, this is the grade points, and this is your market data.
Okay.
Okay. So what is this? This is your market data. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So it will have, so I'm just doing this. Okay. Market data. Now, so this was your pay line. Did you see that line which came? Pay line, right? This was your pay line. Now there were positions. What one? This is what is this? Not color. Sorry, I want to use dots. Draw. Okay, I'll use this pen. So there were positions here. No, there were positions here. Huh? There were positions here. All right. Now, what is a slope and what is an intercept? Now, I can have a line this like this also. Huh? Slope line. I can have a line this also. All right. Now, if I were to say what is a slope, then the slope for this will be, okay, no, the slope for this will be, and the slope for this will be, whose value will be high? Tell me. If I'm going to, this will be A, and this will be B, and this will be C. Whose value will be high? Huh?
Slope of A is high.
Slope of A is high.
Yes.
So essentially, what it means is, let me, when you increase your, let me just clear. So when you, for every increase in the point value, what is the increase of Y? Are you with me? Huh?
Yeah.
For every increase in the point value, what is the increase of Y?
Market.
That is called slope. Are you with me? Huh?
Yes.
Every increase of, so like if I get it, so it's like this, right? Now, what is the intercept? Again, intercept will be, let me use this line now. This this intersection, this point where it
Starts.
right,
Okay.
it cuts. Huh?
X-axis.
Now, if it cuts, this pay policy line cuts into the which axis? Y, the market data. So this is called the what intercept. Now, if you were to interpret it at 0 point, what is the value of Y? It starts from 0 points, no? Huh? At a 0 point, or when X is equal to 0, the value of Y. That is the intercept value.
So
Got it?
starting value of the slope.
Not starting value of the slope. I'm saying X, when X is equal to 0, what is the value of Y? That is the intercept value. So typically, what is an intercept? When the pay policy line cuts into this Y axis, which is called the intercept. Intercepting. Got
So
it?
can we say that that is the entry level salary? Like if you have to really put it like that, is it like an entry level
Will
salary?
you have 0 point for any job?
Okay.
We
You
cannot
not have 0 point for any job.
Will
Yeah.
you have?
We cannot have.
Huh?
We cannot have.
No.
Will you have 0 points? No, na? Huh? So even at 0 point, there is certain value for the Y intercept. Got it? That's where point, when you're calculating a position, slope multiplied by the point value minus intercept. Simple, straight line, mx plus b. Okay, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
So I will send you a very simple, easy explanation for this. And if still you have any challenges, please reach out to me. Okay? Maybe by
Okay.
the end of today or tomorrow, explaining this entire regression model. Very easy to understand. I'll send it across. Okay?
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you. And